Marte here again. Today we're going to be painting a fantastic giant rose. We're going to be doing it in the old-fashioned technique called a grisaille. Now this is basically doing an underpainting, but whereas they used oil paints, we'll be using acrylics. So this will be a painting with a Mont Marte twist, so let's get into it. Okay, now our first step is to draw up our rose. So grab your reference material, and I like to do each petal individually so that each one relates to each other. So let's do this. Now the technique that I like to do when I'm transferring an image is just to use reference points, so I can see that this takes up nearly the whole length of the rose. So I can draw that leaf petal first, and I can see that this point here will tell me where to draw this next petal then. When transferring a image too, remember big, strong, bold lines, no chicken scratches. Another thing I like to do is just step back to see that you're happy with the way that your drawing's going. A lot of people don't do that and then they step back and see that it's wrong. That's just a little tip. Alright, just going to draw our stem in now. Okay, once you're happy with your drawing, it's time to put some paint on. So let's paint this. Okay, so you put your 100ml black acrylic into your deep well plastic palette and just paint the background in. Use big broad strokes with your 75ml Taklon brush. And you can see how effective this is at getting into the fine parts of this painting, into the little nooks and crannies. You can get into the edges just by lightly dragging it along, just using the point. See that? And make sure that you cover your canvas so there's no little bits of white showing through. Okay, now that we've finished our background, it's time to start our grisaille. So keep the black in the one side of the well, add in your acrylic medium into the other side, and now is where we start doing our light and dark on the underpainting. So let's get into it. Okay, now I've started with the darkest part on my reference material here, which is the inside of the leaf. So I've put a little bit of black in here, and now I'm just adding a little bit of medium here just to bring out and thin. Okay, so I'm just adding more and more medium where I want it lighter, so more medium to the black. Now I'm doing each petal individually, and that's the way you've really got to work. But if it's blotchy, don't worry, because we can come back over it when it's dry. This stuff dries so quickly, that's the best thing about it. Okay, I'm just building up around each petal now, just the shadows, because I know that the light's coming from this side, so there's going to be a shadow there. So build up the shadow on each petal, and look back and see that it all corresponds with each other. Alright, that's the black of our grisaille done. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of white here to the highlights. Alright, so that's our white put on. Now we need to mix up our top coat, which is actually a glaze, and it's part scarlet and part acrylic medium. And this is what a glaze is it's a very thin coat of paint, so you can actually see the undercoat underneath it. So let's get into this. We mix this at 1 part paint to 5 parts acrylic medium. When you're laying on your glaze, I generally like to do petal by petal for some reason. Mainly because it does dry so quickly and you can control it a little bit more. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run. Alright, well that rose has got 1 glaze on it. So while that's drying, I'm going to mix up a bit of a nice sort of green for that. Now there's a bit of yellow in my reference photo, so mix in a little bit of yellow, and I'm using lemon yellow. 1 part lemon yellow. The green I'm using is a sap green, and then we mix in 5 parts of acrylic medium. Alright, I'm just using the flat side of the brush here, and remember to use a Taklon brush so it's soft. Alright, now I'm doing a second coat. You don't have to, but this creates a little bit more vibrancy. Now, a lot of these lighter parts of the petals, I'm not going to give a second coat. Just mainly the bottom part. Just because it'll make it look a little bit lighter and it'll give it more depth. So there you have it, our Grisaille. Acrylic and acrylic medium. Use this stuff, I know you're going to love it, you're going to create masterpieces with it. Until next time, keep on painting.